The whispered file, the end times panic that nearly broke a revival. In the winter of 1756, London was gripped by a terror no one saw coming. 5 or 6 men, respected figures in their own circles, began spreading word through the city's Methodist societies that the world would end on a single specific date, February 28th. And people believed them. Enough people that panic started to ripple through entire congregations. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, watched this unfold with growing alarm. He knew exactly what was happening. Apocalyptic fervor had a way of consuming movements from the inside out. It didn't matter how solid your theology was, how genuine your faith. Once people started naming the date of the end times, reason evaporated. Doubt followed. And then came the collapse. So Wesley did what he always did when faced with a crisis. He acted. He preached against the prediction from his pulpits at West Street and Spitalfields. He spoke privately with as many believers as he could find, one conversation at a time, trying to inoculate them against the hysteria spreading through their own neighborhoods. He warned the societies. Again and again he warned them. And here's what's strange. It worked. Sort of. The end times preachers barely converted anyone, maybe 30 people across his entire network. The world, obviously, did not end on February 28, 1756. The panic deflated, crisis averted. But something else happened. Those 30 conversions, those few people who did believe the world was ending, they made an enormous amount of noise. They gave Wesley's critics, and he had plenty, exactly what they needed. Proof that Methodist enthusiasm was dangerous. Proof that Wesley's movement attracted the unstable, the gullible, the fanatics. The opposition to Wesley's core teaching, that Christian perfection, spiritual wholeness, was actually possible in this life, suddenly had real ammunition. The irony was brutal. Wesley had successfully prevented a mass delusion. He'd protected his movement from the very thing that could have destroyed it. And yet that act of protection became the thing his enemies used against him most effectively. They pointed to those 30 believers and said, "See, this is what Methodist perfection produces. Apocalyptic delusion." The real question no one could answer then, and maybe still can't, is whether Wesley's critics were genuinely concerned about protecting people from fanaticism, or whether they were simply using the incident as cover for their real opposition to the radical idea that ordinary people could actually experience spiritual transformation in their lifetimes. What do you think? Was Wesley's movement genuinely attracting the unstable? Or were his opponents simply weaponizing one incident to discredit something that threatened them?